Well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing. This quote underscores the importance of gradual, consistent efforts in achieving well-being. Often people chase grand changes or sudden transformations, but true well-being is cultivated through small daily actions. These seemingly minor choices, such as taking a short walk, drinking enough water, practicing gratitude, or setting boundaries, accumulate to create a profound and lasting impact on our physical, mental, and emotional health. Consider the story of Emily, a young professional overwhelmed by the pressures of her demanding job. She constantly felt exhausted and unfulfilled, believing that only a major lifestyle overhaul could bring her the balance she craved. However, drastic changes felt daunting, and she often found herself stuck in a cycle of burnout and frustration. One day, a mentor suggested that she start with small intentional steps rather than attempting an all-encompassing transformation. Emily decided to begin her journey by incorporating one small habit at a time. She started by drinking an extra glass of water each morning, then gradually added a 5-minute morning meditation practice. Over time, she began taking short breaks during work hours to stretch and breathe deeply. Instead of feeling the pressure to overhaul her entire diet, she focused on adding one nutritious meal to her day. Each of these steps, though small, created a ripple effect that improved her energy levels, mood, and overall sense of well-being. One of the most transformative moments for Emily came when she realized that well-being wasn't about achieving perfection overnight, but about making consistent, sustainable choices. With each small victory, she gained confidence and motivation to continue. Slowly but surely, she built a lifestyle that supported her well-being without overwhelming herself with unrealistic expectations. The essence of this wisdom is that small steps are manageable and sustainable, making well-being an attainable goal for everyone. Practical applications include breaking larger goals into smaller, achievable tasks to maintain motivation and avoid overwhelm, incorporating mindfulness and self-care practices gradually into daily routines, and celebrating progress, no matter how small, to stay encouraged and motivated. The key takeaway is that true well-being is a journey of incremental growth. By focusing on small, consistent efforts, one can achieve significant and meaningful improvement in life. Emily's story illustrates that well-being is not a destination, but an ongoing journey that is built through persistence and patience. By embracing the power of small steps, anyone can create a healthier, more fulfilling life without the pressure of drastic change. This gentle yet effective approach fosters a sense of self-compassion and resilience, making well-being an enriching and sustainable pursuit. Happiness is a good flow of life. This quote suggests that happiness is not a single destination, but rather a continuous process, a flow that arises from living in harmony with one's values and surroundings. It highlights the idea that happiness emerges when life moves naturally and effortlessly, free from unnecessary resistance or forced expectations. When we allow life to unfold without clinging to rigid outcomes or resisting inevitable changes, we experience a deeper sense of contentment and inner peace. Happiness, therefore, comes from embracing the present moment, cultivating gratitude, and maintaining a positive perspective on life's ups and downs. One way to personalize this idea is to recognize that everyone has their unique flow, shaped by their passions, beliefs, and experiences. For instance, think of a river that flows effortlessly towards the ocean. When the river is obstructed by rocks or dams, its movement slows and turbulence arises. Similarly, when we impose unnecessary constraints or force ourselves into situations that do not align with our values, our happiness becomes stifled. By allowing life to move at its natural pace and adjusting to its rhythm, we can experience greater joy and fulfillment. Consider the story of Emily, a young professional who spent years chasing a corporate career that didn't resonate with her true passions. Despite her achievements and financial success, she often felt drained and disconnected from herself. One day, after a long and stressful project, Emily took a spontaneous weekend trip to the mountains. There, surrounded by nature, she realized how much joy she found in photography and storytelling, interests she had long neglected. Inspired by this revelation, she began incorporating these passions into her daily life. sharing her work online and eventually transitioning into a career that allowed her to embrace her creative side. Over time, she noticed a profound shift in her happiness as her life began to flow effortlessly in alignment with her true self. Her experience serves as a powerful reminder that happiness is not about external accomplishments, but about tuning into our inner flow and embracing what truly brings us fulfillment. Practical applications of this philosophy include engaging in activities that align with your values and bring genuine fulfillment, practicing mindfulness to stay present and appreciate life's journey, instead of fixating on the future, and creating balance by managing stress, maintaining healthy relationships, and staying adaptable to change. Happiness thrives when life flows smoothly. Embrace balance, purpose, and gratitude to cultivate a fulfilling existence. By understanding that happiness is a dynamic, evolving process rather than a fixed goal, we can approach life with greater ease and joy. Each moment presents an opportunity to adjust, grow, and align with what truly matters, ensuring that our happiness remains a natural and effortless flow. Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. This quote warns about the long-lasting consequences of careless words compared to physical missteps. While physical mistakes can often be corrected or forgiven, words spoken without thought can cause irreparable damage to relationships, reputations, and self-esteem. Communication is a powerful tool, and using it recklessly can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. Practical applications include thinking before speaking, considering the potential impact of your words, developing emotional intelligence by practicing active listening and empathy, and apologizing sincerely when words cause unintended harm, and striving to be more mindful in future interactions. The key takeaway is that words carry immense power. Use them wisely to build rather than break connections. John, a well-respected manager at a growing company, learned the truth of this quote the hard way. One day, during a stressful meeting, he hastily criticized his colleague Sarah's proposal, calling it impractical and a waste of resources. Although he didn't mean to insult her, his words stung deeply, leaving Sarah feeling undervalued and demotivated. Over time, their professional relationship grew tense and the team dynamics suffered. John realized his mistake when Sarah requested a transfer to another department. To repair the damage, he approached her with a sincere apology, acknowledging how his words had hurt her and expressing his appreciation for her contributions. Through this experience, John learned the importance of thinking before speaking and practicing empathy in his interactions. He now makes a conscious effort to pause and choose his words carefully, fostering a more positive and respectful work environment. In our daily lives, whether at work, home, or social gatherings, it is easy to let emotions drive our speech. However, just as John learned, taking a moment to reflect before speaking can prevent unnecessary harm and strengthen our relationships. Practicing thoughtful communication allows us to express ourselves effectively while preserving trust and mutual respect. The lesson here is clear. While a physical misstep may result in a temporary setback, a verbal misstep can leave lasting wounds. It is far better to tread carefully with our words than to risk damaging the bonds we have worked hard to build. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. This quote emphasizes the profound truth that self-mastery is the cornerstone of success and influence. True power and achievement in life do not come from controlling external circumstances, but from gaining control over one's own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. When an individual cultivates self-discipline, self-awareness, and emotional regulation, they build an unshakable foundation that enables them to navigate life's complexities with confidence and resilience. Consider the story of Michael, a young entrepreneur who dreamed of launching his own tech startup. In the early days of his journey, he struggled with procrastination, self-doubt, and a lack of direction. Despite his technical skills, he found himself constantly distracted, unable to stick to a consistent work schedule, and overwhelmed by the fear of failure. It wasn't until he committed to conquering his inner struggles that his external world began to change. Michael started by practicing self-reflection, dedicating time each day to identify his strengths and areas for improvement. He realized that his lack of focus stemmed from an underlying fear of not being good enough. To counter this, he set clear, achievable goals and broke them down into manageable steps. Through daily affirmations and mindfulness practices, he gradually reprogrammed his mindset to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats. Discipline became his greatest ally. He created a structured routine, waking up early, dedicating specific hours to work, and minimizing distractions. By consistently pushing himself to stay committed to his goals, Michael built resilience, learning to embrace setbacks as valuable lessons rather than reasons to give up. Over time, he noticed a transformation not only in his productivity but also in his confidence and ability to lead others. His journey to self-mastery paved the way for his business success. Today, Michael's startup is thriving, not because he mastered the external market first, but because he first conquered himself. His story serves as a powerful reminder that the greatest battles we face are often within us, and by winning those battles, we unlock our true potential to achieve greatness. The key takeaway from Michael's story is that self-mastery is not a one-time achievement but an ongoing process. It requires consistent effort, patience, and the willingness to confront one's own limitations head-on. Whether in personal life, career, or relationships, those who take control of their inner world will find themselves better equipped to navigate the challenges of the external world with clarity and purpose. Nothing is more hostile to a firm grasp on knowledge than self-deception. This quote highlights the dangers of self-deception in the pursuit of knowledge. When individuals refuse to acknowledge their biases, mistakes, or limitations, they hinder their intellectual and personal growth. True wisdom comes from a willingness to challenge one's beliefs and seek objective truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Self-deception often stems from a natural desire to protect our ego and sense of identity. Admitting that we might be wrong or that our understanding is incomplete can be unsettling, but it is a crucial step toward growth. For instance, many people fall into the trap of confirmation bias, seeking information that supports their existing beliefs while ignoring evidence to the contrary. Over time, this creates a false sense of certainty that can prevent meaningful learning and development. To cultivate a more honest and open approach to knowledge, it is essential to practice intellectual humility. This means being willing to entertain the possibility that our views may need revision, actively seeking out opposing viewpoints and embracing constructive criticism. It also requires a commitment to lifelong learning, recognizing that knowledge is not static, but constantly evolving. Surrounding oneself with individuals who challenge our perspectives can help break down the walls of self-deception and provide valuable insights that we might have otherwise overlooked. Consider the story of Alex, a young entrepreneur who was convinced that his business idea was flawless. Despite several advisors warning him about potential pitfalls, Alex dismissed their concerns, believing that he knew best. He selectively sought out data that confirmed his assumptions and ignored red flags that pointed to weaknesses in his business model. Eventually, his startup faced significant challenges, and he was forced to confront the reality that he had been deceiving himself. Only after acknowledging his mistakes and seeking honest feedback did Alex begin to rebuild his business. On a stronger foundation, his experience taught him that true knowledge comes not from stubborn certainty, but from a willingness to question and adapt. In practical terms, overcoming self-deception involves regular self-reflection, actively seeking feedback, and fostering a mindset of curiosity rather than defensiveness. It is important to approach learning with an open mind and a readiness to accept that growth often comes from discomfort. By doing so, we create opportunities for deeper understanding and meaningful progress. The key takeaway is that acknowledging and overcoming self-deception is crucial for acquiring true knowledge and wisdom. Embracing intellectual honesty and humility allows individuals to break free from the limitations imposed by their own biases and opens the door to richer, more accurate insights into the world around them. Each of these quotes offers timeless wisdom that can be applied to modern life in meaningful ways. Whether striving for well-being, happiness, mindful communication, self-mastery, or intellectual honesty, these insights provide valuable guidance. By integrating these lessons into daily habits and decision-making, one can lead a more balanced, purposeful, and enlightened life. It is through consistent reflection and application that these pieces of wisdom become transformative forces in our everyday experience. Taking small but intentional steps every day allows us to cultivate inner peace, foster meaningful relationships, and build a more fulfilling future. If you found these insights helpful and inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Sharing this video with friends and family can help spread positivity and encourage others to reflect on these valuable life lessons. Stay tuned for more content that can inspire and empower you on your journey of self-discovery and growth.